here. It's the 9th of April, 21. And we got some slow moving clouds moving around. A little bit of a breeze. It's not hot today. And there's my handsome buddy. He's always ready. But somebody left me a comment about when I said we paid our bills. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know that pretty much everywhere here you can pay online. I have an app on the phone for Meralco, which is our electric bill. And the reason I'm not using it now is the electric bill is in the owner's name. So is the water. So what we do is we just go up to the bill pay station, and we just pay it that way. Now I have it all set up. If we ever get PLDT again, they have an app for that to pay the bill. The water place at our new place, you can pay that right from the phone or the computer. Just tie it to I'll tie it to my debit account. I have one account where I just put in just what I need into that one. I can transfer to it right online. That makes it a little bit more secure, I guess. But most everywhere. My buddy has a can't remember the name of his cable TV, but he gets really good cable TV and internet, and he pays it right over his TV, right through the TV. When the bill comes in, it flashes up as a little message on his TV screen, and it has a thing on there that says pay now, and all he has to do is click on that, and it automatically transfers funds out of his account to his bill, which is kind of cool. Also, he said you can set it up automatic. He didn't do that. He just wants to see what the bill is first before he pays it. He's like me. He puts in that account, he only puts in what's necessary. It's the account I use for Lazada. Hi, handsome.
Hello.
Hi, sweetheart. But pretty much you can pay anything online here that I've seen so far. Now, our other water, when we were in the first house, it was a really poor water service. We wound up buying into GMA. Now, they just started, I understand, they just started online where you could pay them online also. And you get your receipt online and everything. So far, that's how it goes. Now, I do know somebody who has a payment on I believe it's on their bike. They have to physically go and put the money in the bank, and then it's like auto debit, I think. It's the way they do most of them, where they just it's going to be a certain date they're going to take the money out. So all you have to do is make sure the money's in that account. But pretty much between the different accounts I have here, the different banks, we have RCBC, we got the BDO, PS Bank, and Security. And I can transfer between any one of those. One's a checking account. If I need to write a check, I can transfer from the one bank to there, just a swipe on the phone. So you can pretty much do it. Like I say, the only reason we're not doing it now is because it's not in our name. I don't want to put anything on there in somebody else's name. It might be a hassle to change it around. Getting things changed here is difficult at best. But when we get to the new house, I'm going to set everything up as quickly as possible and do it automatically. There's my handsome buddy. Huh?
How about when you're done videoing, you will cook the bread with cheese?
Yeah, we're going to make grilled cheese sandwiches, but that's for lunch. We just ate breakfast, so we don't eat 15 minutes apart, breakfast and lunch.
Hello.
These guys are like Mama. They like to eat a lot. Why don't you go eat an apple?
I eat one already.
Oh, good. What about you? Oh, you're having one too? Yum, yum. We'll get some more of those turnip things too. Well, that's pretty much I have on that today. I actually have to go out today and do the landlord. Now, there is a problem here. They have this thing called Gcash. And for a good while, when I was paying him, it was getting so frustrating trying to get this man paid that I told him, look, you want your money, you got to come out here. I was really getting frustrated. And then he came up with this Gcash. Well, why don't you just go to 7-Eleven Gcash? Okay, sounds good. For the first couple months, that worked. Well, for the last about 3 months, 4 months now, here the Gcash doesn't work. Now, when we went down to the house, the 7-Eleven down there, their Gcash was working, and I had no problem. I went ahead and paid him. I wished I'd have paid him just double. I didn't know I was going to have to pay again. But the Gcash machines in this area, all the way from GMA to Binion, and here in Carmona, and even San Jose, they're offline all the time. Or you go and put all your stuff in and you sit there and wait, and it never gives you the receipt. It just doesn't work anymore. So I don't know what's up with that. This is just a dead zone area for them. It never works. We have one very close here. That one hasn't worked. The one in San Jose doesn't work. I went over to the one on the way to Binion. That don't work. The one over in GMA, well, there's 2 in GMA. Neither one of them work. So what's the point of even having it? They should take those machines out and throw them in the crapper. It's very frustrating. In order to pay him, I got to get in my car and drive all the way to Santa Rosa to pay this stupid bill. And that's the only bad thing about paying the rent here. 7-Eleven offers this dang service, and I guess they just don't want to do it anymore because the machine's never working. And there's a whole bunch. It's a little kiosk, computer kiosk, and there's all different kind of pays. But the only one he would take was the Gcash, because you just put in his phone number and it pays it right to his phone, and then he goes to any 7-Eleven and gets his cash. And when it was working, I was really happy with it, because if we wanted to send money to anybody, if we knew somebody that needed a few bucks, we could just go into a 7-Eleven and send it. And they gave it and they took it away, and that's a real shame. But kids are going to do some swimming again today. We're draining it out. Seems pretty much we got every day they swim in it. It has to be drained because it gets slick on the bottom right away. I don't want to be dumping bleach in there or anything. I'll just start them with new fresh water every day. But the pool, it's kind of bulged on the side. That's what you get for $100. You can see over there, it's bulging out. It doesn't seem to be leaking anywhere, but we're really watching the kids. We had cleaned the floor real good to make sure there's no sharp things that are implements that'll poke a hole in it. And I was actually swimming with him yesterday a little bit. Mama hasn't been in there yet, but she's up late yesterday, and then today. We have these big blue containers. They got a nice snap lid on them. I was putting all my clothes in there to keep them from getting ants in them and stuff like that. And then I was using them as a table for my charging station, all that, just stacked 2 up, and they got all the clothes in. We got a bunch of them. And the stuff in there got musty, so she was pulling everything out of those, and she's washing it. And then we're going to clean the insides with some vinegar and make sure the clothes are good and dry before we put it in. And I do want to tell you guys, talking about things getting musty here, I did this on 2 or 3 videos, but since there's a lot of you new folks, I want to let you know again, you expats that are here. You get the fungus on leather here. Shoes, jackets. My leather jacket, I was just heartbroken because it was just covered in like a dried mold stuff. And didn't matter what I did, it wouldn't come off. I even tried a little tiny area with peroxide. I tried alcohol. You just couldn't kill this stuff. And I had some of my shoes just fell apart. It ate the shoes so bad, and it ate the strings, the shoes fell apart. Belts fell apart and all that kind of stuff. Well, my buddy Onad said, put it out in the rain. Okay, well, I had plenty of snow seal on it. It's waterproof. It's a super heavy Vanson. Love that jacket. I've had the dang thing since the 80s, since early 80s. Great jacket. And so I got the dang thing. What do I got to lose? So I hung it out in the rain. Guess what? That stuff is gone. It did it. The rain. We had a real heavy rain one day, and I hung it up on 2 of the clotheslines with the arms hanging down, and everywhere the rain hit it, except under like the armpits, it just washed it right off. It took it right off. So the next day we had another rain in the afternoon, and I went in and turned it the other way, and it just got rid of all this fungus that was growing on there. I went ahead and put my last pair of leather shoes out there. It took care of it. And those leather shoes were tennis shoes, but they had pieces of leather sewn in, and it just where the leather was, it was just covered in fungus, and it eats the strings. After it gets on the leather for a while, it eats the strings. So guys, know that if you're here, if you run into any of this white, dusty looking fungus on anything, put your leather goods out in the rain, and it just amazed me. I would have never thought of that myself. I would have thought that, uh-oh, that's going to make it worse. But it didn't, and thank you, Onad, for that tip, because it sure did work good. Because that Vance and jacket I have, I just love that jacket. Fits me perfect. When I got the dang thing, morning. When I got the dang thing, it was at the time they were like $900, and when I bought this motorcycle, they said, okay, you're going to get one of these, and. Okay, well, they didn't have one to fit me because I have like an extra long and stuff, and they said, here's your paper for the jacket, and here's how you get a hold of Vance. And so I went ahead and got a hold of them. They had me do measurements like from around my neck down my front. I had the measure to my belt, and they had different styles of jacket you could pick. And I went ahead and picked out, I'm not one of these bikers with the buckle-looking jackets. Maybe that's good, but I'm thinking it would make you slide farther because it's metal instead of leather. So I picked out the one I liked, and they fit me to a T. The other good thing about the Vance, and it's got cuffs on the sleeves that are tight. So when you're cruising down the road, in the winter you can zip it all the way up. It'll keep you warm, and it keeps the rain out. But in the heat, like what we get here, you zip it down to about your bread basket, and what it'll do is it just blows this jacket up. As long as you're moving, it blows it up like a balloon. And I'm telling you what, it's the finest motorcycle jacket I ever had. And I had a couple of them that I give away, or they just didn't do it for me. I had one place that it was a motorcycle jacket, and it was made out of pigskin. Well, that's not even good for one fall. That's good for about the first 2 or 3 inches of a fall. And any more around here, I'm just going to wear my stuff. I actually have it's got 2 different names, Moto Sport and Cycle Sport. The guy makes them out there in California. Can't remember the town, but I was living in Pomona, and I went ahead and drove to that place with a couple buddies. It only took about an hour or so to get there. We headed south. I don't remember the name, but we went to the guy's factory, and I got the Kevlar full suit with the tri-armor and all that stuff in it. And it has, it's like a screen door. If you hold it up to the light, you can see right through it. So it was incredibly cool. Whenever I rode, I wore that full suit. I had a really good pair of boots that I bought. I had the fantastic gloves. I mean, these things just abrasion resistant. One of the commercials on it is where they took cement blocks and had them go over. It took 5,000 scrapings before it started tearing the gloves up. So I bought those. I got them from him too. The same guy at Cycle Sport. I got some beanies from him. I wore a Liat neck brace plus the Shoei helmet. Those are the ones that fit me best. And if you do come here and you see a lot of people driving with no protection at all, not a good idea. Not a very good idea at all, because when it comes to being on a bike, the way the bikes drive here, it's not a matter of if you're going to fall down, it's just when. It's when you're going to go, and the roads here are bad. If you get any kind of road rash here, I would recommend immediately getting down to the hospital or a clinic or somewhere and get it cleaned up because of all the dog poop and just filth on the roads. Any road can be dirty no matter what country you're in, but here the poop dries up and turns to dust, and that getting ground into your skin, you're looking at a pretty bad infection. My kids, whenever they get scrape their toe or their knee or anything, we immediately take them in, bath them with soap, and then we got Neosporin, we got some Bactrim, stuff like that we put on it, and that keeps them from getting an infection, because you could get it here pretty quick. It's just how it is here. But you're driving on the roads, some of the roads just aren't that good. Our road, right as we leave the development here, they had a pothole that was not that big. It was only about as big as a garbage can lid, and you could straddle it. It really wasn't a bother. I would just straddle the thing, and you didn't have to go into the oncoming lane. Well, they came in and fixed it. Now, the area is almost as big as the footprint of my car. It's just all tore up, and you don't even want to drive through it. You have to go out and around into oncoming lane to miss this silly thing. So they didn't do too good of a job. They just filled it with concrete, and of course that broke, and when it broke inside the hole, it just cracked more of the stuff all around it. So that was a shame. But there's a place you wouldn't want to fall down. A lot of times when you're driving, whether you're in a car or a bike here, and my wife and I see it all the time, and I think it frustrates her more than me. So many people will come out from a side street or from a store or something, and I'm not kidding you, they're looking to where they're going. If they're coming out to make a right-hand turn, they're looking to where they're going. They're not looking to see you driving your buggy. They're looking where they're going. We just had a lady in a thing. If there would have been an oncoming car, I'd have hit her right in the side, probably tipped her little three-wheeler bike over. But I was able to hit the brakes and swerve to the left. And of course, she got upset with me. She did. She was upset with me, giving me dirty looks. They don't think they're doing anything wrong. They think when they're in their vehicle, they hit the gas and go, and you're to stop for them. And when they cut it so close like that, that's why there's these accidents that you see. And there's been so many times where I've seen motorcycles hit, and they don't do it like in the United States. That body will lay there until the police, I guess it's like a forensic unit, comes, and they don't cover them up or anything. I had 2 days in a row coming from Das Marinas to GMA, and in the exact same spot, there was a couple fellows got hit on the motorcycle, and it was the same accident. It was a jeepney hit the motorcycle, and it's where they always have traffic cops. And the traffic cops, when you're coming here, sometimes you can't see them, and you don't know. Their uniforms are just faded from being in the sun all the time, and they're directing traffic. So you have to watch when you're coming up to an intersection. You watch as best you can for somebody directing traffic, or you're going to get yourself in some trouble. They'll take your license, or there'll be an accident or something. So you really got to keep your eyes peeled for the traffic police. But they do things that are, to me, are a little bit odd. We were sitting by where the highway goes in, coming from Binion, and we were at a red light that had like 180 seconds. It was a super long red light, and they had traffic that was coming on to us that was making a left onto the highway, and the traffic cop was waving them through. Well, when that group of cars was done, and we still had 100 seconds to go, nobody coming making a left anymore. He walked over the side, so I hollered at him. I was on the bike. I said, "Hey, why don't you come wave us through?" And he pointed at the light. Well, wait a minute. He's the traffic cop. We've got such a long line of traffic behind us. I was able to drive all the way up to the front on the bike, but he wouldn't do it. He refused. He could have let everybody go. There was nobody making a left turn. That was the only thing that would have been a problem. Everybody else oncoming was just going straight. They have a left turn lane there, and he didn't do it. He just did not do it. So I just didn't understand that. Traffic cop that doesn't alleviate the traffic. They produce it, kind of. But another thing too, just since I'm getting on driving, when you're in the left-hand turning lane and you're going to make a turn, keep watching. Don't think you're safe in your lane and everything's going to be fine, because people will cut to the inside. They'll go in the straight lane instead of left turn and try to cut around you. You know, I said this before. They're so in a hurry when they're behind a wheel, but they're not in a hurry at all when they're building your house. So it's the way we go. Well, I still have no word. I talked to the lady last night on the thing, and she said, "Oh, I gave the architect, you know, your thing to get back with you." That was last Monday. This is Friday. Yesterday I hit her. I haven't heard a word, and she said, "Oh, here's the lady." I said, "Oh yeah, I got some pictures from that lady, but she didn't say when my turnover is or anything." And she says, "I'll get back with her." So hopefully we're going to hear a word today. I don't see anything going on. I can't drive down there. You know, it's just a royal pain. And like I say, I'm going to go try see if 7-Eleven Gcash is working, so I give the landlord some money. I'll give him a buzz. So hope it all works out. But there was just some things I was thinking about today, run by you with the bill pay. But yeah, you can pretty much do a lot of things online, especially since this COVID. I think a lot of companies are picking up the online stuff. You know, the way they got all this stuff. The other thing, if you're tall like me, I always laugh in the grocery stores and in the little bill pay place. They have plastic shields that are about up to here. And that's good for every Filipino in the place. For me, I could stick my head over the top of them. Even the grocery store, they got the one grocery store, the cashiers are in a box. And they'll hand you a basket. You can't hand the money to them. And they do it at McDonald's, and they do it a lot of places. You have to put the money in the basket. Well, then what do? They take the basket in. I guess it's a COVID basket. And they reach in and they take the money. I'm telling you, any other guys, expats here want to weigh in on that, go ahead and tell me the reasoning behind that. I guess there was a basket concession that somebody had, and they made it mandatory. I don't know how that's supposed to work, but it's what they do. I mean, to me, somebody that has a little bit of common sense, I'm just shaking my head. I'm not, you know, my common sense isn't telling me why they're doing this. You know, does just the fact that you put it in the basket cleansed it of all bad things, and then by the time they pull the basket over to them, then they take the money out, put it in the register, that cleansed it? I don't get it. But this is it, and we're still patiently waiting for our house to be done. I'm glad we got another beautiful day today. I'm going to have to go somewhere else to upload this again. There's again today, they must be working on the tower because there's absolutely zero signal. My wife's phone, my phone, nothing here. Even when I walk down by the tower, it just has a little round thing with a cross through it. And any site I go to, whether it be Facebook or anything, it just says, you know, no internet service. So they must be working on those towers over there. I didn't see anyone climbing on them this morning. Wish I had a pair of binoculars so I could see a little bit better, but nothing's going on with that. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. This is Rick Shaw. Don't forget to pray for each other, and keep your head in all this madness that's going on. Rick Shaw out.